So you type in D3D, set, projection, and then there's three parts to this. Where your camera or your vision is positioned at, so I'm going to have it at the X, Y, and Z value of my camera object, and that's where this Z value comes in handy. Is this Z variable is for right there. And then this next part's a little bit harder. It's for where you're looking. So direction is an angle on the XY grid, and then Z direction is an angle for up and down. And so we need to use some trigonometric functions, sine and cosine. If you don't really understand what those mean, look them up. I'm not very good with explaining them, but so you do x plus cosine. And then another thing is all angles in GameMaker, like direction, are in degrees. However, sine, cosine, and tangent and all the trigonometric functions use radians. You need to convert the angle that you're using first. So one way to do that is you type in the angle, direction, which is a built-in variable, and then you multiply it by pi and divide that by 180. That is the way you convert degrees to radians. However, there's another way to do that. You type in deg to rad, which means degrees to radians, and then type in the angle you want. I like this method more than the other one. Alrighty, and then you do the same with the y value, only using sine, because sine is cosine's counterpart. And you want to make sure you're using that same angle, so direction for that too. And one thing I'd like to point out is this, it would normally be y plus sine. However, on GameMaker, the y-axis is inverted. As you go up, the numbers go down, and as you go lower, the numbers go up. The point 00 is at the upper left of the room, so the y-axis is inverted, so instead of being a plus, this needs to be a minus. And then for the z-axis, we do z plus sine, deg to rad, z direction. However, the z direction's counterpart, the cosine of z direction, needs to be added to the x and y values, or multiplied by the x and y values. So go back up here, type in cosine, deg to rad, z direction. Go down here, type in cosine, deg to rad, z direction. Alrighty, so that's how to find out where we're looking. And then you need to specify the which way is up on the camera using a vector. Just to be simple, because I like to change this a bit and change which way's up to tilt the camera around, but just to be simple, I want it facing upward on the z-axis. So we're going to have 0 change in x, 0 change in y, and 1 change in z. So it'll be 1 up on the z-axis. That way is going to be specified as up to our camera. You can change that to anything. You can make it dependent on your variables, but normally we just want it 0, 0, 1. Alrighty. So now to have something to look at, we're going to create our block object. And again, we need to specify its z value. So I'm just going to have that random. So this makes a random number between 1000 and 0 and subtracts 500 from it. So it's going to be between negative 500 and 500. So the z value will be just, the blocks will be all over the place. Okay, and then under the draw event, because once again this needs to be done at draw time, D3D, draw block. This will make a primitive shape. There's three parts to this too. There's you type in the location of one vertice, the location of the opposite vertice, or corner, whatever you want to call it, and then you type in the texture and all, how many times you want the texture repeated. So, going back to our sprite, it's 32 by 32. The center is at 16. Each side is 16 from the center. So, I'm going to do x minus 16, y minus 16, z minus 16 for one vertice, and then do the opposite for the opposite vertice. X plus 16, y plus 16, z plus 16. And then for the texture, you type in what texture you want. I named mine B block. And then how many times you want it repeated horizontally and vertically. I want it repeated just once. I want it to be on there once in both directions. So that makes a block. Alrighty. And then creating the room. This, again, you're not really going to see this. This is more just for you as the creator to just kind of place stuff how you want it. This is an overhead view because the camera's tilt is upward towards us. Or, yeah, the camera's up vector. So I'm just going to put a bunch of blocks in here. Just all over the place. Now, the direction of 0 is to the right. So the default direction, of course, is at 0. So we're going to be facing to the right at all these blocks. You can change the direction in the creation event if you just want to change it right away as soon as the game starts. Alrighty. And as soon as this starts, might as well exit out of this. Sometimes it takes a while on my computer. There we go. Oh. So I made a stupid error. Instead of telling what z direction was, telling it to equal 0, I just typed in z direction. So I fixed that now. I stopped the camera there for a second, but I fixed it now. So it should work now. Click play now. Exit out of that. Alrighty. There we go. So that is how you look in 3D. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it with this tutorial or just make another tutorial adding on to this how to look around with the mouse like you would with a first-person shooter, and move the camera with the WASD controls. So, see you then.